welcome everyone. My name is Eleni, and I'm really glad to be here with you in the WinterChallenge 2024 Business Case Finals. This is the fourth year that we are hosting this event, and it also might be one of my favorite events during the IEOx WinterChallenge. This is the time where we get to see the top 5 business case submissions. So we completed the round. We also had the FLG and the economics, and all of the teams completed the peer grading. And now, according to the peer grading, we have the top 5 teams which get to present their business case solutions in front of the jury live. So in the finalists, we have Team Serendip from Indonesia, Team Vlatas Caramelo from Brazil, Team Stonks from Malaysia, Team Magma Troopers from Indonesia again, and Team Innovate Excel from Taiwan. Congratulations, guys. Really glad to see you all, see your faces finally. I see some people waving. That's great. I hope you're excited to be here and showcase what you researched and how you worked with one another. And before we go on to introduce you to the jury, I would also like us to have a small snippet of what the teams that couldn't make it to the finals did and what they submitted. I think we have a video for that.
Hello everyone.
Hello everyone.
Here are team champs
With the name Slate,
Financial Wizard,
Katie.
This is our team, colon, close bracket.
We are the team ACTJW.
We are Team Econ Mavericks.
Future entrepreneurs.
Team Innovation.
Management team.
The team member of Econ Leaders.
Cosmos.
Economics Club.
Team OIC.
The Squirrel Spice team. Team Dazzlers.
and Last Efficiency.
The Team Skibbity.
Team Visa Fighters 2.
Team Martin.
The Elastic League.
Team A, Paragon International School. And
Team Ne Economisti.
We are from Hong Kong.
Vlatas Caramelo from Czech Republic and Andy Salika from Albania.
Brazil team.
empowering
Communities in Sub-Saharan
Africa.
With
Friendly energy solution.
focusing on Nigeria.
Energy Solutions, which we will refer to as PBS from now on.
And with PBS, Africa can have
affordable and clean energy in the form of compressed biogas.
Here's some additional data
From different graphs that you can see on the slides.
some graphs.
Highlights the potential of our strategy.
And funding schemes.
Additionally, we selected 3 ranches dispersed in Nigeria for the sake of lowering the transportation cost.
As you can see from the map on the left,
On the left here, we have a map showing the percentage of people in the community with access to electricity.
Next, we're going to take a look at the target audience.
Rural communities in Nigeria face limited access to modern energy services.
Here is shown a SWOT analysis for the project of PBS.
6C model, which could completely analyze.
We have analyzed the different stakeholders.
So we have used the risk matrix to analyze the risk and
SWOT analysis to the biogas technology.
Through the environmental analysis,
see the SCQA analysis
about our client.
Let's look at the case using PESTLE.
And a cost projection.
Break-even point means the level output at which cost of production equal revenue.
That's how we calculate it.
Is the practical meaning of the break-even point.
We're considering the break-even point units in this case.
It's also very significant to choose.
So at least we got to see some of the teams that were not in the finals. Everyone did a really good job, and I think that from the people watching us on YouTube live stream right now, some of you got to see your business case live right now. I think we're going to have some more time to see a few more of the business case submissions later. But right now, I would like to introduce you to today's jury. So we have Christos Benos, a PhD candidate at the University of Thessaly, an academics department leader of the IEO, and an economics teacher and obviously an economics enthusiast. Hi, Christos.
Hello, nice to be here.
Nice to have you here. We also have Patrick Egan with us. Pat has been a team leader for Ireland for quite some years. He's an economics teacher and enthusiast and a great father. Hi, Pat, can you hear us? I guess yes. Maybe some technical issues, but we keep in touch. We also have Yalamas John, an active citizen in his home city, Larissa, and the world, interested in entrepreneurship and an informatics instructor. Hi, John.
Hi there. I'm very excited to be here. I'm really waiting to hear all these presentations. Thank you for having me here.
Thanks for sharing the enthusiast. We also have Guinea Valentina. Valentina is a professor at the Bucharest University of Economic Studies and Human Resource Management. Hi, Valentina.
Hello, everybody.
Then we have Aguirre Tomas. Tomas is doing research and AI at Palver BR. He's been an IEO participant and he's also the youngest IEO EB member. Tomas, can you hear us?
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here today.
Nice to have you too. We also have Chung Spring. He's the director of Lorcon Biopharma International Group from Hong Kong. I see him on the screen, but I also hope he can hear us. We also have Chiwo Alan, a director of Andres IMC Limited.
Hi.
Hello,
Oh, sorry.
everyone.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I think we have a bit of a small technical issue, but you both can hear us, guys, right?
Yes.
Perfect. We also have Dr. Celine Zilling, professor at Yan University.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, nice to have you. Lee Vincent, economic subject chairman at Taksan Secondary School.
Hi, hello, everyone. Nice to meet everyone here and look forward to the nice presentation tonight.
Hi, Vincent. Thanks for saying
hi
to all. Also, Wong Edwin, business department head of Taksan School too.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Edwin Wong from Hong Kong, and nice to meeting you all.
Nice to meet you. And Alexander Zetkovsky, secretary of the IEO Executive Board. Hi, Alexander.
Hi, everyone. Really glad to be here.
Nice to have you. And our jury group is completed from Ksenia Talberg and Philip William Carnadi. They both have been WinterChallenge alumni. They participated in the business case finals with their teams last year. Philip has also been participating in the IEO 2023. Really nice to have alumni completing the jury group. Nice.
Hi guys, nice to meet you all guys. Really happy to see you all again. It's like a personalized game. It's a game that it's a very fun thing to know, guys. I hope in this competition we have a very expect a good experience to do it and have a very well things to learn.
Thank you, Philip.
Hi, I'm excited to be here.
Hi, Ksenia. Nice to see you again. And since we now have met our jury, I think it's time to do a short recap of what the case was about, just so everyone has a very clear overview. And I would like to invite Christos Benos to do that.
Hello, thank you, Eleni. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm glad that we have you with us. I am sure that your work was amazing through the last 2 weeks preparing those amazing presentations that we are going to see right now. So This year's business case has set contestants responsible to deal with one of the most important contemporary problems. The aim number 7 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is having affordable and clean energy for everyone. We have more than 500 million people who do not have access to affordable and clean energy, and this makes life difficult. It makes cooking, working at night, or networking extremely difficult. And at the same time, the amount of time spent in preparing for cooking, for example, cannot be used in productive activities. While sometimes it leads young children and especially female teenagers away from school. That's why this problem is important to us. The business case we have prepared along with PBES was about electrifying sub-Saharan Africa, and specifically we aimed to deal with Nigeria, one of the countries with the lowest electrification rates. We asked contestants for a plan that could be sustainable and for an affordable pricing that could let them access the market successfully. So many contestants have been registered as a team and prepared their presentation. But it is important that plenty have been registered individually. And we made it to group them together and form teams. After organizing the competition for 4 consecutive years, I have to share that this process of grouping people into teams and the conversations of young contestants in our group chats in WhatsApp, Telegram, and WeChat after the financial literacy game and the economics round are the reasons why I am proud the most. So because of our participants get to know and work with people from different schools and sometimes different countries or even different time zones this year, they have to deal with distance, with multiculturalism, with our global community diversity, and at the same time create something that they find the courage to stand and present in front of us, in front of their peers, in front of the jury members. This is their time to shine, and we now have to listen to them very carefully. The jury has to remember that all of our contestants are younger than 21. Thus, we have to lean on our advising role instead of our judging role. So let's enjoy this process. Thank you.
Well said, Christos. I'm very excited to see what they have to present here too. And just a reminder that all teams will have 10 minutes to complete their presentation and then 10 minutes for questions from the judges. So if we are ready, and before we move on to the first team, a reminder for YouTube that at the end, everyone watching the live stream of the business case finals on YouTube will be able to vote for their favorite team. And the team receiving the most votes will get the audience award. So if we're ready, I think we can start with the first team.
Hello everyone, greetings from Indonesia. We are from Serendip team with the team code 24102 and we are here to present about PBS, building a sustainable future with biogas powered electricity. But first of all, before we jump into our material, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Sekar and my teammates.
My name is Bagus.
My name is Bella. My name is Anisha.
My name is Alvan.
So hello, Team Serendipity. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Perfect. Ready. Let's start then. I'm going to start the time when you start presenting.
Okay, can we start now?
Yes, you can start.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good afternoon, the honorable judges, and good afternoon, everyone. Greetings from Indonesia. We are from Serendipity team with the team code 24102, and we are here to present about PBs, building a sustainable future with biogas-powered electricity. So first of all, before we start our presentation, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Sekar, and with my teammates.
My name is Alvan.
Okay, we also have Anesha, but currently her mic is under trouble. And then Dela.
So
Okay.
my name is Dela.
Okay, thank you, Dela. Okay, so next slide, please. All right, our first material here is executive summary, which we will learn about our situation, key question, recommendation, and also the impact from the project itself. So here in Pamatsi Bioenergy Solutions, or PBIS, is a company that aims to produce affordable and clean energy with the primary target market, Nigeria, a country with a population of 220 million people, of which 40% of them, or 80 million people, are still reported to live without electricity. Besides that, in Nigeria itself, there are numerous annual organic waste. So that's why we can take advantage of that and turn it into biogas. So our recommendation here is to build a large scale of biogas plant and provide small scale digesters for community purposes only. Lastly, the impact from the project are, first, around $84 million will be the net present value at the end of 30 years. Break-even point will be reached in 7 years, reducing greenhouse gas emissions up to 44,000 tons per year. And last is providing access to electricity up to 700,000 people per year. Next. All right. The energy challenges that we face here, such as difficult access to electricity, and there are still plenty of people who rely on firewoods in their daily household needs. Luckily, in Nigeria, as has been told before, there are numerous annual waste, which 57% of them are organic or food waste, and also, based on the data that we searched, there are 20.9 million cows available there, which can produce up to 20 kilograms of cow dung daily. That's why we have an opportunity here to build a biogas plant, which can turn waste into energy to electrify as many people as possible. Next slide, please. All right, as mentioned before, we wanted to convert waste into energy. But first of all, we need to know the set of action to achieve our goals and objectives. PB's objectives is to provide affordable and clean energy in accordance with the 7 SDG in the form of compressed biogas in Nigeria. So we've compiled the list of the 5 regions with the lowest access to electricity in Nigeria. The first one is Taraba, second one is Yobe, and then followed by Benue, Zamfara, and lastly is Bauchi. These 5 regions will be our utmost focus as they are the most vulnerable areas due to their limited access to the electricity. Hence, they will become our main target customer. With that in mind, our 2 solutions are we're gonna planning to build a 5 large-scale biogas plant in those 5 areas. So there will be 1 for each. And then we're also going to sell small-sized digesters that are intended for community use only. Next slide.
So we've mentioned about large biogas plants and small standalone digesters as our solutions, but what exactly are they? Well, biogas plants essentially take waste in a form of them, both animals and food waste, and process them. This results in the generation of renewable energy, 70% of which will be sold to the governments, which then will be distributed to those in need through the grid. The other parts, 30%, will be manufactured into gas cylinders. Our second solution, the community digesters, produces roughly 5.1 cooking hours for 15 households plus around 3,000 liters of biofertilizers daily. In conclusion, about 1/3 of carbon footprint emissions could be reduced by these solutions. Next slide, please. Now let's move on to our estimated initial investment. We have identified three main costs in offering our products. Firstly, there will be a land cost of around $135,000, then our construction cost of biogas plants, which amounts to about $66 million, and lastly, gas cylinders for about $3.5 million. Our fixed cost or initial investment based on our calculation, will amount to almost $70 million with the assumption listed below. Next slide, please.
Okay, next let's move on to the annual operating cost for the company. In this project, variable costs are divided into two categories, those for the biogas plant and digester package installation. From year 0 to the first year, variable costs are relatively low, around $42,000. It's because the company is still in the construction phase and hasn't started production. But subsequently, after the first year, or at year 2, variable costs increase significantly by $6.8 million as the company begins production. Next slide, please. Okay, based on our team's recommendations, there are four sources of revenue: electricity, compost, gas cylinders, and community digester packages. And PBS company is estimated to receive $22 million annually, with compost is being the most significant contributor of income, while gas cylinders only contribute a small portion. Next slide, please. We propose to the client a strategic allocation of capital from two key sources. The majority, totaling 70%, would be obtained from debt, a choice driven by the lower associated costs compared to equity, and the remaining 30% would come from equity, with 10% being an internal investment from PBS company itself, and 20% of equity portion is ensured through external funding channels like EP Africa, a dedicated financing company that's specializing in clean energy. Next slide, please. Okay, in this financial analysis, we delve into the key metrics that define the viability and profitability of our project. Our break-even point is occurred at 7.7 years, signifying the period required to recoup initial investment. Moving forward, our net present value stands impressively at $84 million, with the IRR is 7.47%, while the cost of capital is 7.8%. But you might be wondering that the IRR is a little bit lower than the cost of capital, but you don't have to worry because our NPV is still positive, indicating that this project is profitable both for our client and investor. Next slide, please.
So next, I'm going to tell you about our proposed mitigation to the potential risk of our project. So the first one is financing. Our proposed mitigation is to do strategic funding diversification. And next is variability in biogas production. And our proposed mitigation is to do advanced monitoring, strict feedstock control, and ongoing operator training. The third is legal risk, which our proposed mitigation is to collaborate with governments in electricity provision. Next one is delayed project. Our proposed mitigation is to create roadmaps and project timeline on constructions and operations. The last one is consumer trust, which our proposed mitigation is to develop consumer education and transparent partnership with the government. Next slide, please.
Okay, next here I will explain about the project implementation, how we plan to execute the project. First, we will start in 2024 with design and funding. Next, which still in this same year, we will do construction. And next year, 2025 with administrative. And the next year, 2026 with operating. Next slide, please. Next, I will explain about the impact of the project. How does this project impact the environment, client, and people in Nigeria? And the first impact on the environment is one, reducing organic waste by 60,000 tons per year. And the second, reducing carbon emissions by 40,000 tons per year. And the last, contribute to SDGs in 2030 and others. And the second, to the client or PPS company, an example is follows: one, company reputation, and the last, get profit of the next 30 years. And the less people in Nigeria, the example is follows. 1. Electricity access for 700,000 people per year. And the second gas for cooking 500,000 people per year. And compass around 23 million kilogram per year and others. Okay, thank you for your valuable time today. We welcome any question or further discussions as we explore the potential of this promising venture.
Thank you, Team Serendipity. Congratulations for successfully completing the round and making it to the finals. Now we have 10 minutes for questions. So I don't know if any of the judges would like to start.
Can I start first? I'm Vincent. I'd like to meet you guys. You make a very detailed presentation and a breakdown of the cost. But if I'm the banker, when I look at your internal rate of return is lower than the cost of borrowing, how can you persuade me to loan you money for the project? And also, when I look at your PowerPoint file this afternoon, I found out that in the production cost, you did not incorporate the cost of equity and also the cost of borrowing. So how can you address the problem that I observed? Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I can't hear your voice.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you
I
hear
can.
me? Yes. Thank you for your presentation. It's wonderful. But I found out that your project get a quite low internal rate of return, which is lower than the cost of borrowing from the banks. So if I am the banker, how would you persuade me to loan you money for the project? This is the first question. And the second question is when I look at the PowerPoint file you prepared in the cost breakdown, I am not able to find out the cost for the equity and also the cost of borrowing. So how can you address the problem?
Okay, thank you, sir, for the questions. So,
Yeah, thank you.
investing in our biogas project not only provides a reliable and profitable source of income, but also helps the environment is still profitable. Can you hear my voice? Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay.
as you can
yes.
Okay. So as you can see that our NPV in this project is positive. So it indicating that our project has a positive cash flows during its lifetime. So it's still profitable for our investor to invest in this project. But not only about money, this project also reliable and helps the environment, like it's reducing the carbon emissions and give electricity access to Nigerians. And for the second questions, can we show the appendix of our PowerPoint? Appendix number 3. Yes, this one. So as you can see in here, our teams have calculated about the cost of capital and the cost of debt. And we are also calculating the tax rate to find the weighted average cost of capital. And we found that the WACC is at 7.87%. I hope that clarifies your questions. Thank you.
Then I think we have one more question from Ksenia can go first and then Alexander.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. I have two questions. I will start with one and then ask second if there is enough time. So you rely on community interaction, and obviously you have to raise awareness inside the communities for it. However, I just Googled some statistics about Nigeria, and the literacy rate in Nigeria is around 60-70%, which means that around 40-30% of Nigerian people can't read. So how are you going to raise awareness inside the communities, and especially in rural areas, because it's your target audience?
Okay. First, thank you for your question, Miss. So, to increasing the awareness of Nigerians, we have created a strategy for the biodigester community. So, after our customer buy our product, our teams will training them about how to use the biogas plant. And also, we have a partnership with the government about selling the electricity. So, we hope that the government can also socialize about the biogas in Nigerians. Maybe one of my members would like to adding up.
Okay, so are you planning like volunteers, because people can't read? You can't just print out many advertisements or print out magazines. You have to tell them how to use biogas, why it is beneficial for them, and most of them don't have education. They haven't gone to schools. You have to explain them. So many more steps, more concrete, more particular.
Okay, for these questions, I think my teammate Sakar will answer your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Delia, for the chance to answer. So I think because of many Nigerians that cannot read, we will also have the team to spread around the Nigeria, especially in those 5 rural area, to explain to them the importance of this biogas electricity, because they will have so much benefit through it. And also, if our team is spreading around those area and explaining them personally, I think it will be more effective to selling this product. Thank you.
Tanya, you have another question?
Yes, I have another question, if it's okay. Well, okay, you also talking a lot about implementing the factory of biogas, but although we already know that many people in Nigeria can't read, and I get that not many people in Nigeria hold bachelor degrees and the higher degrees. So how are you going to hire people to work on these factories? Are you going to invite foreign specialists, and what are you going to do with this?
Okay, thank you for your question. So, in order to build a good business, we have to hire a skilled labor. So, in order to doing that, we will inviting labor from overseas, which has a higher skill than the Nigerians. Thank you.
And I think that we have time for one more question, Alexander, if you want to go.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, thank you for the presentation. You didn't explain, or I didn't get the idea of why do you think that the biogas is the better solution for electrifying Africa? The main goal, as it is stated, is electrifying it, but there are other solutions, other approaches, other ways of producing electricity, and those ways they can be much cheaper than this approach. So why would you expect that this solution would be the best?
Okay, first of all, to answer your question, can we go to the slides PowerPoint, please? In the slides, PBS startup strategy. It's okay. So why we think that biogas is the best solution to electrify Nigerians people is because in Nigeria itself we found that there are many cow dung and many organic waste that produce annually. So it's a big opportunity to manage the waste and at the same time producing clean energy for the Nigerians. Despite the highest cost despite the highest cost that we're facing when we producing electricity from biogas, it also helps the environment because it's more cleaner than the coal electricity. So that's why we choose the biogas is the best solution for Nigeria. I hope that clarifies your question, sir.
Sander, if that's good with you, like you have no further question on the answer. Valentina, sorry, but time's up for the questions. So thank you guys. Good luck, and let's welcome the next team. Team Vlatas Caramelo.
Firstly, we are very proud to present the Green Engineering Plan, the project we developed during the business proposal part of the IEOx competition. Our team is composed of 2 people, me, Paula, and my sister, Esther.
Great. So hello, girls. Are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear
Oh,
us?
sorry. Okay.
So again, you have 10 minutes to present and then 10 minutes for the questions. I will let you know in the chat once you have 1 minute left.
Okay, so I'm gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Honorable IEOx Winter Challenge community, we are the Vlatas Caramelo team, and it's a great honor to be here today at the business case final presenting our solution, the Green Nigeria Plan.
It's not moving.
It's not moving. Okay.
It has a delay, sorry. It is not moving.
So it's just that it's not there. It's not. I don't know why the slide's not moving.
Can you click on it? Just click on your screen and then use your keyboard.
Okay. So here we can have a look at the main points that we're going to talk throughout this presentation, which includes the problem statement, our goals, the target, our solution, and the effects that are going to be generated by our solution. But firstly, it's really important for us to truly delve into the problem that Africa has been facing. Well, sub-Saharan Africans, and especially Nigerians, struggle with insufficient energy production. And as a result, they are obligated to find alternatives that are expensive, pollutive, and have many negative externalities, such as air pollution and health problems. In this scenario, Pamotzi's goal is to increase access to clean cooking, which includes access to clean electricity, clean cooking gas, and clean cooking stoves at an affordable price, following SDG 7.
This is not moving.
Can you continue using the keyboard?
Okay. To achieve that, our goal is to produce a biogas plant of 20 acres that can meet the full capacity, the energy demand of almost 100 Nigerians. We'll sell 16 kilograms cylinders that can either be bought by the population to use them as a cooking gas, or can be bought to power community electricity, community power generators that can, and then the electricity can, then will electricize the households connected with the grid. There's also another output of the production of the cylinders, which is the fermented organic manure. And we plan on selling this, which is a green fertilizer, at a competitive price of $3.3 for a bag of 15 kilograms. Otaga market will be the northwest and northern regions of Nigeria, which are the regions that suffer the most for the consequences of inaccessibility to clean energy. Otaga profile will be someone like Abiona. Abiona is 30 years old, she has 3 daughters, and works as a farmer and is low class. A great part of her income is wasted in kerosene and firewood to generate energy. Building the biogas plant in Kano is beneficial for the company because Kano has a very good infrastructure and cheaper labor and land costs in comparison to cities such as Abuja and Lagos. However, it's also beneficial to the population as the products will be accessible thanks to the closeness to the northwest and northern regions, which will reduce transportation costs. In addition to it, Kano is a stop of the most important train lines for Nigeria and the sub-Saharan Africa. Another important point for us is to understand why cylinders are the best option. Well, by using cylinders, we can tackle both sides of the energy gap, the clean energy goal that we have presented in the problem statement. Because everyone who owns cooking stoves or is connected to the grid can use the biogas cylinders. And sadly, the number of the population with clean stoves is still very small, but through selling our green fertilizer, the fermented organic manure, we also want to increase these numbers. We'll use half of the sales of the fertilizer to donate cooking stoves to underprivileged Nigerians that are located in our target regions. Well, these combination measures will create a great number of benefits for Nigeria. The first one is that, as you can see, we'll donate almost 140,000 cooking stoves by 2030, and which will increase the number of potential clients, which is very beneficial for the company as well. And additionally, the utilization of the feedstock that will be otherwise burned will avoid 150,000 tons of CO2 emissions per year, among other numerous benefits. PAMObility will reach its break-even point at the start of 2037 after selling 2.5 million units. And at the right, we have a capital funding scheme. As you can see, 40% will be of grants, which is a big number, but possible thanks to PAMObility alignment with the UN SDGs. Here we have foundations that have supported similar projects to PAMObility in other emerging markets, such as India and Latin America. It's also important to remark on the Nigeria's energy transition plan, which will support business compromised to clean energy in Nigeria, such as PAMObility. Here you can have a view at the simplified sheet of the costs that you have for both the initial cost of the plant and also the cost per year. So as you can see, it's important to highlight that we're going to have an initial cost of $7.1 million, and our operating costs will be of $3.2 million. So here we have also analysis. As you can see, one of our main weaknesses is the need of constancy of feedstock, which we will mitigate through building our biogas plants next to the Kano closed settle zone. And the threats are public subsidies for fossil-based energy and fertilizer, which is changing thanks to Nigeria's energy transition plan. We have political stability, which is also changing thanks to state-level reforms. For example, the government developed a new program called SABRE to accelerate the implementation of critical actions to improve the business enabling environment of Nigeria's states. And we have the lack of awareness, which will mitigate through a close connection with the media and local community leaders. They are really important in Nigeria's rural areas. Here, as you can see, the global biogas market is moderately concentrated. However, the Nigeria's biogas market is highly fragmented, and Pamopti's advantage are its high infrastructure, closeness to manure, specialization to northern and northwest regions, which will make Pamopti one of the main players of this market. To truly understand why biogas cylinders are the best option, we need to analyze its affordability. So we need to compare the price to the most popular sources of energy used by Nigerians. And as you can see, biogas is more affordable than most of the options and stand as one of the most sustainable option of all. It's really important. I really want to talk about also is that the costs of the other sources of energy is consistently increasing due to the lack of high demand, and that shows that biogas can be even more competitive when we take this in consideration. So, in the future, here we have a map that shows the possible future markets Pamopti based on these priorities. We believe that Pamopti can explore all the markets while building biogas plants in border states with other countries, which will allow them to establish themselves even more in Nigeria while expanding the company. Here is an illustrative example. And we also believe that when thinking about markets that are not as closer to Nigeria, we can use the train lines because, as I said before, Kano is one of the main stops of one of the main train lines of Nigeria and Africa Sub-Saharan. And we believe that through following all these steps, the Green Nigeria will be possible and will be able to empower Sub-Saharan Africa communities. Thank you very much.
So thank you both. Congratulations. You were even less than 10 minutes. And now we can move on to the questions part from the jury. I see Xenia first.
Hello. First, I would like to compliment that you highlighted a lot of data in the beginning of your presentation, and that you highlighted lack of awareness. And I have two questions. The first one is about implementation plan. You said that you wanted to implement the solution in the rural areas with low access to electricity. However, I believe that what do you think about that it is better to implement this plan in more electrified communities because they have more facilities? Didn't you consider that implementing in rural areas with low access to electricity will be harder and more unpredictable?
So first of all, thank you very much for your question. It's an honor to receive a question because we really enjoyed honors-based presentation from the last year. So Paula will reply to that. So basically, we really focus on making energy more accessible for everyone. So that's why we chose Kano City, which has the minimum structure that we need for implementing a plant. But we also chose we also take in consideration the fact that, first of all, a lot of people don't have cooking stoves, but in the fact of like electricity specifically, Kano is close to a lot of areas that have very low access to electricity, even though they're connected with the grid. And so our goal is, so that's why we chose Kano, because it has a lot of connections and it's closer to these areas that are they lack access to electricity, even though they have connection to the grid, you know. So that's pretty much it. I don't know. I'm not sure if my sister, my partner will want to complement my answer. And at the same time, Kano makes us closer to state and regions that have a higher index of electrification, but at the same time closer to the northwest and northern regions that suffer from the lack of supply of clean cooking technologies and fuels. So yeah, but thank you very much for your question.
Thank you. And the last question, you highlighted that the solution will increase productivity for women, but in the first slide, I think you can show it. You highlighted that women are victims, and maybe the labor of women is closer to a slave labor, and it's not a really good outcome of your solution that the productivity will be increased, because it depends on cost of which their productivity will be increased.
Thank you very much. That's a really good that's a really good question. But when we talk about how women can be have increased productivity, talk about how our solution is not only like cheaper, like we showed in the comparison slide, but we also much easier to use in comparison to the status quo, where women are obligated to find sources that are time consuming. They have to find firewood and they have to cook them. It's very time consuming. So in the sense that the increased productivity will be in the first parameter that we use in consideration will be the fact that they are not going to spend as much time, and then also the second, which is the fact that they will not spend as much money into that, and that's why we arrived into this affirmation that women will have increased productivity because they're going to have more money, more free time. That's it. I'm not sure if my partner will want to add something. And thank you very much for this question. That's a really good point. Thank you very much.
And Alexander, do you also have a question?
Yeah, thank you guys for your presentation. I wanted to say that you actually resolved some interesting issue and solution, provided is maybe more fitting. But could you please tell me the task of this business case, like in short words?
The task of this business case is present a solution that aims at electricizing as much people as possible and produce energy at a low cost with sustainable measures.
Great. And could you please now connect the solution that you provided with the task of this case?
Our solution or production will not only have a lot of benefits in increasing the access of clean energy, but we also will electricize almost 100,000 people. And in the future steps, we plan on increasing the number of people that are going to be electricized and that have access to low cost, sustainable energy. So I think that's it.
How do you expect that gas cylinders and cooking stoves help to electrify more people?
First of all, cylinders are a good option. Can we move on to the slide? I can present. Oh, okay. So the first point is that why cylinders are important. We chose them because the energy issue involves also the access to cooking gas and to clean energy, so electricity. So that's why we chose them. And we plan. So, but there's a very strong issue, which is the lack of access with cooking stoves, and that's why we will also plan on increasing the accessibility of those cooking stoves. So why we have a good connection, so talking about the electricity part, we have a good connection with the grid. The majority of the people are connected to it, but when talking about the access to cooking gas, there's still a low number of people or population that has clean stoves. And if I'm not mistaken, 77% of the population use open fire as a stoves. And we think that this is also very important part of our task, which is like increasing the access of clean energy. And so that's our main measure, which will be donating cooking stoves for people, since they're already a large percentage of people connected with the grid. They will be electricized by the powering of community generators. So if it's not really clear, well, sorry, if it's not really clear yet, you can ask me again, and I can explain in a more clearly manner.
Yeah, could you now connect, like you said about the community generators? Now, where are those generators in the schedule that you propose to follow with this project, or in analysis for the costs and profits?
We do not have a direct connection with the generators, but we are.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my question has been answered. We can follow.
And it's a great honor because we also have seen you in other presentations in the past editions. So yeah, it's really cool to have a question for you.
Great. And I think we have time for one more question. Valentina, I think you were the first one to raise your hand.
Hello. It was quite a good presentation and quite an interesting project, what you achieved in the end. I have my concerns sincerely related to the labor force. So I will ask you related to this point, okay? If you could explain to me what kind of employees you are planning to use. Would you like to relocate them? From where? How would you find skillful employees? And this is the first question. The second one, do you plan to have or have you thought about having a kind of public-private partnership? And if yes or no, why yes, why not?
So thank you very much for your question. I will reply part of your first question, and also it's a great honor to receive a question from you as well, because we've seen your past editions too. But I will reply part of the first question, and my sister will also now reply the second question. So the first question, we have a lot of types of employees. Paula included, for example, professionalization course in the course. So there will be people, they'll be working as manual tasks, but at the same time, in Kano, as we have a lot of universities, so in projects, in tasks, they are going to need more specific in tests, they're going to require a more specialized workforce. We have also a lot of universities from the state, and at the same time, Paolo, do you want to add something? At the same time, the other types of job that we will be needing are not very don't have as much bad conditions, because they're mostly related to like putting the gas into the cylinders and doing most of the operating tasks are most related to monitoring the working on the plant. And we also added a good we talked about also adding a good amount of wages for these workers. So I think that's it. They're going to receive we added a good amount of annual wage for them, and the most related jobs they're going to have is like monitoring, even if the jobs are even the smaller jobs. So I think that's it. And about the second question, I think that we did include in the slide, but for example, one option for Pamodi will be CD funding, for example, but we just decided to focus more on grants because of Pamodi alignment with SDGs, and because a lot of foundations that can support Pamodi. So is there any question? And thank you very much for your question. It was a really great question.
Thank you for the answers, but I would like to make it a little bit more clear. The first one, actually, the answer that you provided to the first one, okay? So as in all the businesses, we have here low-level employees and higher-level employees, right? More or less skilled employees, okay? So, okay, I can understand that you will find easily or easier employees for the low-level jobs. And when it comes about the higher level jobs, okay, you plan actually to address the faculties, the universities, okay? Are those faculties so close to the location that you would like to develop this business?
Thank you very much for your question. Yes, there are. There are around 5 universities in Kano City. That is where we're going to build. So it's not going to be hard to find qualified people to work in our business, because there are a lot of universities, and the 2 more is getting built in the region. So there will be a problem, but thank you very much for your question.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Congratulations. Thank you for your questions, everyone. I think that we can now move on to the third team.
Hi Pamodzi, we're Stonks, and today we're here to help you to reevaluate your business decision on the biogas industry. But first, I'm Daryl, the firm analyst.
I'm Cheryl, I'm the strategy analyst.
I'm Aisin, I'm the quantitative analyst.
I'm Karine, and I'm the market analyst.
Welcome, Team Stonks. Nice to have you here. As with the previous teams, you guys have 10 minutes to complete your presentation. I'm going to send you a reminder once you have 1 minute left, and then you have 10 minutes for questions from the jury. Before we start, a reminder for the people watching us on the live stream on YouTube. You guys can, at the end of all the presentations, vote for your favorite team. So we're also going to give an audience award. Stonks, are you ready to start?
Yep.
Oh, sorry, before that, I can't seem to switch the slide.
Once you click on the slide, and then you can use your keyboard to navigate the slides.
Sorry, it doesn't seem to be working. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Hi, Padmotzi and judges. We're Stonks, and we're here today to help you to reevaluate your business decision on the biogas industry in Nigeria. Firstly, I'm Daryl, the firm analyst.
I'm Cheryl. I'm the strategy analyst.
I'm Aysen, the quantitative analyst.
And lastly, we also have Kyrene, which is the market analyst. But firstly, let us look at the summary of what we have gathered about your company. We understand you want to provide affordable and clean energy using highly scalable biogas digesters for productive use primarily in the rural parts of Africa. And from your promotion video on YouTube, we know that in the short term, you want a 20-meter cube biogas power plant, as well as a $20,000 as seed money. While in the long term, you want to achieve the broader 2030 agenda, as well as providing job opportunities to 10,000 people by 2050. To meet your needs, here's the overview of our strategy, a multitude of balancing risk and rewards. We shape our strategy according to your company's agenda and goals while assessing for sustainable profits. Nigerians still can't meet their electricity needs due to 3 reasons. 1, fuel price hike. 2, increased electricity tariffs. And 3, unstable supply of the national grid. What does it mean to electrically empower every Nigerian? This means better health, environment, and food security for the remaining 29% of Nigerians who are still unelectrified. We have 3 time horizons: short, mid, and long term. Before we move on, we want to reevaluate your business decision of diving into the biogas industry. But if you choose to proceed, here's how it will work.
Now, let's look at our strategy. Diving into the biogas industry is difficult, but here's how we're going to balance the different aspects of a biogas business to find your best case. So, here at Stonks, we're able to help you achieve social impact, sustainable profits, and risk assessment all at the same time. Now, here's our entry to market strategy and growth procedure. We have 3 phases. On phase 1, we're going to solve the overdependence on petroleum by increasing R&D. And on phase 2, we're going to increase domestic power plant production by securing sufficient funding. And lastly, on phase 3, we're going to provide more affordable access to electricity by scaling up our production of biogas. So as we can see on the right, Nigerians currently spend 10 to 30% of their income on electricity. So hence, through our entry to market strategy, we're able to make it more affordable as similar to how in the US, Nigerians only spend 2 to 3%, how on the US, how US citizens only spend 2 to 3% of their income on electricity. Now for risk illustration and management, we use the ENSOF matrix to understand your risk appetite. As your goals are highly ambitious, this implies a willingness to take higher risks to achieve future. So we created a moderate to aggressive portfolio. 4 aspects that we covered: market development, diversification, market penetration, and lastly, product development. Now, here's our ideal strategy. It's the circular economy, where we recycle profits into different sectors. So as you can see on the left, where we turn organic and animal waste into gas cylinders and digestate, which will then be turned into biogas and compost, which can be used for domestic usages. Then we have 4 revenue streams: 1, kitchen usage; 2, grid connection; 3, compost; and lastly, off-grid. Now, for analysis on the breakdown of our strategy. So for macroeconomic analysis, we use steeple analysis for better business analytics. We covered social, technological, economic, environmental, political, legal, and ethical factors. So the key takeaway here then is that we plan your business while evaluating both internal and external factors.
The next part of our analysis
The next part of our analysis is the electric consumption in Nigeria. This table breaks down electric consumption in rural areas, off-grid and on-grid. The pie chart shows the overwhelming majority opting for off-grid, fossil fuel-based electricity, and we highly believe it's because on-grid provisions have limited supply, whereas off-grid supply has unlimited hours. Here at Stonks, we want to provide you with pathways while you reevaluate your business decisions. So to do that, let's look at Stonks' microeconomic analysis. The framework we use is Porter's 5 forces, which analyze Pamodzi's ability as a new entrant to provide service and generate profits. Generally, we assess client's environment by examining these 5 forces, and overall, the pros included a competitive advantage of pioneering the biogas market, government commitment to renewable energy, and compliance with recent ESG regulations. The cons, however, mitigate these effects. For example, slow industry growth, poor government implementation, domestic over-reliance on fossil fuel, and etc. So in summary, even if we do scale up economic of scale and reduce cost of production, it is still hard for us to compete with fossil fuel, which is cheap. So the takeaway is that Pamodzi has high funding requirements, reliance on insecure political conditions, and difficulty pricing given competition.
Now let's take a look at the business and financial models for the theoretically best case. First, this is our targeted area for the plant in Taraba. It is agricultural heavy, which provides easier access to organic waste and good market opportunities for fertilizers. Now, this is our business model with 4 stages: construction, sourcing, operation, and distribution. With stage 1, we will acquire land and construct the plant, while the sourcing is on collection of biomass. Stage 3, we will focus more on bottling up the purified biogas in CNG cylinders and selling slurries as organic fertilizers. The bottled biogas can serve as an off-grid solution for electricity, as Nigerian rural areas often do not equip with proper on-grid connections. Finally, we will distribute the products to the household where the biofuel can generate electricity or can be used as cooking fuel. Now an illustration of an operating plant. A 20 cubic meter plant will need at least 625 kg of biomass to operate, and the biogas produced per day is then compressed into cylinder, making up to 14 kg of biofuel only for its further functions. Here's our financial modeling for a 20 cubic meter plant, calculated through industrial averages and the recent exchange rate. As we are a startup, funding is certainly not easy. The total construction cost we allocated is around 10K and the equipment cost is around 8K. Do note that the prices shown are the most ideal prices that we sought for the best case. In reality, it is likely that the actual cost will be higher. Now the total operation cost per year is at $1850 USD, which is the lowest cost that we sought out to maintain a reasonable selling price and not to make a loss. Here's our breakdown on cost per unit. Our selling price is 0.4 per kg. In comparison, the price of cooking fuel in market now is at 0.54 per kg, while the petrol in Nigeria now is at 0.44 per kg. Given the ideal best case that we came out with, the incredibly pressed down costing, our profit for the year is still at $194 US only.
So here's our Monte Carlo simulation where we use random probabilities to calculate your expected performance. As you can see here, your average net profit a year stands at $204 US. Although these are still positive ROIs, the marginal returns do not justify the risk taken to dive into the biogas industry, and this hardly achieves a break even. So we really urge you to reevaluate your choices.
Now let's take a look at our funding models, which include these contributors. So for example, international grants from the Debt Management Facility, DMF, or the US African Development Foundation, USADF. We also follow the Pareto's principle, where 80% of major funding comes from 20% of fund donors. Signs of profitability and growth will attract investments to cover the remaining funds. Do note, however, that low ROI will make it difficult to attract investments, and as a startup, it is tough to get loans. And this is more reason to opt out. Now let's take a look at the impacts. So benefits of compressed biogas include these, such as new market opportunities, safe and clean energy, which reduces GHG and also deaths, and also an alternative to off-grid fuel generators. However, there are also limitations to biogas, and these include difficulty in biomass collection due to absence of a centralized sewage system, expensive bottling technology and facilities, difficulty of biofuel utilization, and lack of energy efficiency with its inconsistent composition. Additionally, there are also obstacles, which can be summarized into these four. Low returns, which take over 10 years in the best case scenario with zero growth and further investments, poor funding implementation, gaps in infrastructure with 3 collapses just last year, and also a problem-solution mismatch. Electrifying barriers exist outside Pamodzi's control, which, for example, is the government's intervention. So here at Stonks, we want you to reevaluate your decision to enter the biogas industry. We strongly believe we have fulfilled the task of explaining why Pamodzi should withdraw from the project. In conclusion, we therefore advise you to generally withdraw from the project and instead look into alternative pathways to achieve your goal of electrifying Nigerians, such as solar energy, which has a strong and semi-mature market in Nigeria. Thank you for listening.
That's Stonks, perfectly on time. Really nice presentation. I see that Valentina already has a question. You can go first.
I sincerely congratulate you guys. You have a very good project and a wonderful presentation. This is my opinion, at least. Okay, what I would like to understand better is why not to propose the so-called partnership in between the public and the private parties. Okay, if you face actually this kind of barrier, you have mentioned it before, in implementing, in running this business, okay, why not to try to negotiate with the government? Have you thought about that? I do appreciate all the calculation. I do appreciate the way that you actually took into account all the dimensions of the potential business, okay? And I do appreciate the objectivity and the fact that you do not jump to the implementation of this business. However, it would be nice to take from time to time some risks, okay? Or to try to be a little bit more creative. This is my perspective, okay? And in this respect, I do ask you, why not to try to have at least a kind of negotiation with the government?
Thank you so much for your question. So firstly, in terms of partnership with the government, because of political instability within Nigeria itself, it's very difficult to get that aid from the government. And even in instances where the government signs deals and kind of promises to give that subsidies, these subsidies are often not funneled into the biogas industry, making it very difficult for Patmodzi as a startup to get that funding. But the next question in terms of partnerships, because of how the biogas industry is very difficult to dive into because of the barriers that we mentioned earlier, it causes us to have a very low return on investment. And that low return on investment will make it very difficult for Patmodzi as a startup to get partnerships and funding, because no investors would want to invest in a company with a 1.03% annual return. So hence we think it's incredibly difficult for Patmodzi as a startup to go into the biogas industry, and it will be much more feasible for them to look into other alternatives.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer.
Thank you, Valentina. And I think Spring Cheng was next. I think that you are mute.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. I think this PowerPoint is very good, but I feel a little confused. I have the two questions. One question is, you mentioned the financial modeling. Yeah, can you show the PowerPoint? You just mentioned, can you show the PowerPoint of financial modeling?
Yeah,
In the
sorry,
show the
someone screen share.
Yeah, the
I
slide.
don't have access. Yeah.
You show a lot of financial modeling, but in the last PowerPoint, you said there's some difficulty in the model, in the financial, the fundraising. So I think about, what do you think, which one, the financial modeling, the fundraising is the best way to do this project? Yes, there are those of model here. So which model should be the best way to get fundraising? And the last one, you mentioned the difficulties for the funding. So I feel a little confused. Which model, which funding should be the best way?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I think the reason why we included so many types of funding models is because we think there is instability to depend on solely one funding model. We believe they should decide on a split between these sources. For example, grants from international organizations or even corporate. We think there should be an even split because, as my previous speaker said, there could be problems with political instability. So we cannot solely rely on, for example, government or international organizations. Yeah.
Okay, the last question is, you mentioned about the ego, the law, right? And the analyze. You mentioned the legal, the compliance, the law. Have you done the research about the Nigeria, the legal, the system? Have you done kinds of research? Because you just mentioned legal.
Yes, certainly. We have done like suitable and enough research on the Nigeria because the biogas is a really like a new industry right now in Nigeria. So right now the governments don't really have like a certain guidelines and the procedures on how it should set up. Yes, the government did have a certain examples incidents on executing like let's say a mini grid biogas plants, but the mini grid kind of failed at the end. And in terms of the legal and procedures, we are actually implementing, like implying towards, let's say, the applications that are necessary to apply to actually operate a plant and the legal documents you need to submit to actually operate a plant. And then you probably need a technician. You probably need like a technician's license, a specific kind of electrician's kind of license to operate the plant. And we do think that this is some kinds of a barrier entries towards having a biogas plant also. Does that answer to your question?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And Alan, you can go next.
All right, thank you. I'm quite impressed that when I look at the budget, that you actually put safety into account, because obviously these cylinders are very highly inflammable, and I don't see other team putting that into account. But I wonder how do you come up with the number 150 US dollars? Spending on safety and maintenance. Can you tell me how do you come up with that number?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much for the questions. As you mentioned before, right? Some of these like numbers are coming from industrial averages, and then we refer to some of the biogas companies from other parts of Africa, and we also take into account of the current strong US currency to Naira. And again, we like to stress again that these numbers are like the best case scenarios that we have taken for Patmozi. So it's like more like a feasible execution plan for them as a startup company. And besides that, the low costing is a result of we really have to maintain a reasonable selling price while not making a loss. So in reality, it's really highly that the cost will be more higher. But so far, I feel like for the company to actually, if they really want to proceed with the plant, they really have to maintain the costing towards that range. If not, like they will likely make a loss. And hence, like it really affirm on our advice on why like Patmozi should really just withdraw from the biogas industry. I hope that answers your question.
And I think that we have time for one more question. Vincent, maybe?
Hi, hello. Thanks for your good presentation. I'd like to know, do you expect any difficulties in hiring the technician or the engineers to run the project for you in Nigeria? You know that it's a developing countries, and if you can't hire enough technician or engineer, what will you do? Will you import labors from other countries, and this may increase the cost? I'll see whether you can tackle the questions.
Yes, we certainly do take this into considerations, and that's why we say like the legal problems. It's one of the biggest problems to this biogas plants itself, and we certainly do think that this entire plan is actually not really feasible in Nigeria at all, and hence we give an alternative to a solar industry, which actually at the time But however, we still think that we are able to source the local technicians and electricians. In fact, we have to source the local one. We can't actually, let's just say hire an engineer from abroad, because we believe that through the legal systems, it's required that we have a station electricians in the factory itself. So with this project, we have to source it from local. It might be a bit difficult, but we feel like Patmolzi team, since they are quite experienced in the universities, we do that think that they have the academic relations to actually find the engineering and related personnel to tackle this biogas plant if they really choose to proceed with it.
And also, sorry to add on, because the power plant is just a 20-meter cube power plant, which is really considerably small compared to the others, it only requires 2 workers to operate, and hence we think that finding that workers wouldn't be that difficult. But we are also aware about the question that you brought up in terms of how there may be difficulty in hiring these workers, and hence we think that is also more of a reason for Patmolzi to opt out of the biogas industry.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks for your answer.
Great then. Congrats, Tonks. I think that now we can move on to the next team.
Good day everyone, welcome to our group presentation. We are Team Magma Troopers from Indonesia, and today we are going to present our comprehensive analysis on PBES plan in providing clean energy in Nigeria.
So do I see Magma Troopers? Great. You guys can start. You have 10 minutes. I'm gonna let you know a minute before your time runs up. And then you have 10 minutes for questions with the jury. Once you are done with your presentation, you don't have to stop screen sharing your slides. And yeah, good luck. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm still checking if I can change the slide. Okay.
Yeah, you can. Perfect.
Oh, wait, why this is layouted quite wrongly? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Good day, everyone, the honorable judges of the WinterChallenge 2024, and also the audiences. Welcome to our group presentation. We are Team Magma Troopers from Indonesia, and today we are going to present our comprehensive analysis of the PBES plan in providing clean energy in Nigeria. But first, let's talk about the current condition in Nigeria. So, in Nigeria, 40% of the population do not have any access to electricity, while the rest 60% is not in a better condition either. They do not have connected grid electricity because the power infrastructure is insufficient to feed up the demand. So they relied on self-generated electricity using fossil fuel. This condition results in $12 billion of annual spending in power generation, which constantly polluting 3 trillion kilograms of carbon dioxide annually. But actually, Nigeria has a potential to fix this problem. What exactly is that potential? It will be explained in the next slide. Ouch. Okay. Sorry. I can't change the slide.
Click on the slide with your mouse, and then you can just use the
Yeah.
keyboard to change them.
But actually, this one is 2 pages in the same slide. So
Can you please check the layout? Because we actually submitted the right PDF and it is only one slide per page. So it should be one slide per page.
Okay, give us a second. We're checking. We've stopped the time.
Yeah. That one is two page per in one screen. Ah, yeah. So misconfiguration. Oh, still 2 page.
Okay, let's give it a couple minutes just to figure it out. Small delay, but it's fine. In the meantime, I'd just like to make one more reminder for YouTube and the Audience Award. This is the 4th team presenting out of the 5 finalists. So once this is done, everyone is gonna get the link on how to vote for their favorite team, and they're also going to get an award similar to last year. And last year we had Montor Silic winning the Audience Award. I think William from the jury was a member of that team.
Yes, of course. It's a very memorable things that I in mind until right now.
I think that we might have the slides. Yeah, we do. Okay, can we try again?
What if I share the screen? Is it inappropriate?
We are doing this screen sharing, but you guys have control on changing the slides. Just give us one more minute and we're gonna figure it out.
I think that with this unfortunate technical issue, we should ask guys to start over.
Yeah, we can do that. Shall we try like this?
I think it's okay.
Yeah, that's better. This one is better.
Okay, we can try like this. You guys can start over.
Yeah, please try first. You can switch the slides.
You start in 3. Oh, yeah.
Can you change the slides?
So, yeah, it's working.
Okay, good. You can start.
So the present will start in 3, 2, 1. Good day, everyone, the honorable judges of the Winter Challenge 2024, and also the audiences. Welcome to our group presentation. We are Team Magma Troopers from Indonesia, and today we are going to present our comprehensive analysis on PBES plan in providing clean energy in Nigeria. But first, let's talk about the current condition in Nigeria. So in Nigeria, 40% of the population do not have any access to electricity, while the rest 60% is not in a better condition either, because the power infrastructure is insufficient to feed up the demand from the citizen. They rely on self-generated electricity using fossil fuel. This condition results in $12 billion of annual spending in power generation, which constantly polluting 3 trillion kilograms of carbon dioxide annually. But actually, Nigeria has a potential to fix this problem. What is exactly that potential? It'll be explained in the next slide.
Okay, Nigeria can produce around 542.3 million tons of animal and organic waste annually, which has the potential to produce around 23.5 billion cubic meters of biogas. This biogas equivalent to 210,000 gigawatt hours of electricity, indicating a huge potential in Nigeria, but not yet maximized. Responding to this opportunity, PBS emerged as a startup specializing in energy solution. Their proposal focuses on providing affordable and environmentally friendly energy service, especially biogas utilization. in line with Sustainable Development Goal 7, looking at Nigeria's potential and the goals of PBS, collaboration between the two could offer promising solution to Nigeria's energy challenge. Next. So if we examine the PBS proposal, it turns out that biogas distribution will use gas cylinders. However, we believe the solution may not be the best way because for cooking twice a day with biogas will require 1,500 liters per day in a family of 5 and thus requiring a large cylinders and high cost. Instead of using gas cylinder for distribution method, we propose to focus on the two main products produced. First is electricity and second residual biofertilizer or compost. Biogas will be converted to electricity and distributed to Nigerians who are unelectrified. In addition, the remaining biogas combustion can be processed into biofertilizer or compost, which can be sold to agricultural land throughout Nigeria.
So, based on our explanation before, based on the market sizing and the importance of this project to Nigerian people, our recommendation is to fund the project. Next slide, please. Here is our project profitability calculation. Before we go into the financial calculation, I will explain the assumptions first. The first assumption is the inflation rate is not 18.8% based on the data of 2022. We also expected about 2% annual growth in electricity revenue. We targeted about 30% of unelectrified Nigerians initially. And in 2024, there is no revenue because it's the construction phase. And the last assumption is the compost is 5% residue of biogas production. So move to the financial projection. In 2024 is the construction phase with the initial investment or total cost consists of $1.9 million, and it will break even in 4 years and 8 months, with the net present value in the 5 years after the construction phase as much as $159,000. This project is very profitable because only in 5 years, the return on investment is already reached 30%. Also, the ratio of revenue in year 5 to the initial investment is 28.6%. We also expected it to grow even more in the future. The next slide will be presented by my friend, Lubna.
So here's our recommendation for PBS funding sources. PBES will have 3 funding sources, which will come from international agencies, commercial banks, and private and public investment. First, from international agencies, we will choose FD Nigeria because FD Nigeria have committed on public-private partnership and will provide us with loans. We also have NGO and INDP, and the initial investment will come in form of grants. Next is from commercial bank, and we will use African Development Bank because this bank have an interest to funding renewable energy projects. And the capital will come in form of concessional loans, and the last is from public and private investment. Next slide, please. And this is for our capital composition. Loans from international agencies and commercial bank will take 50% from the initial investment. It takes the largest part because we find that FD Nigeria will be the most potential funding sources because FD Nigeria has been the country's partner for financial support in agricultural development and have an involvement in low carbon energy transition. 40% is from private and public investment, especially from government, because considering that now the electricity supply in Nigeria is come from private, we want to include more government participation for this to introduce more private parties to electrical generation in Nigeria. And the rest is grants from NGO and UNDP that provided.
Let's move on the risks and mitigation. In a project, there must be risks faced. No expansion to this project. But we also have solution to these risks and problems. We will divide the risks into 3: technical, community, and finance. The first is technical risks. To promote development of domestic PPES and aerobic irrigation technologies capabilities, seek working partnership and technical alliance. with renowned international players and equipment suppliers in the sector. This is to augment local skill sets, gain new competitive skill, and eventual technology and knowledge transfer that will have a lasting effect on the brand product market positioning. Second, the location. Conduct a site assessment to find the optimal location for these facilities, especially the geography aspect, as it relates to nature. Third, eligibility to access identified funds and grants. From a financial point of view, we need to identify funds and grants, perform thorough assessment to fall identified funds or grants eligibility criteria, and strategically position company to access same. If there are any time to experience based barriers for fund or grants pre-qualification, consider partnership or technical alliance with companies that meet the set criteria. Next, please. Impact from this project. By data, CO carbon dioxide fossil fuel carbon dioxide biogas, there is a significant difference between the emission released when using fossil fuels and using biogas. The data show that biogas is more environmentally friendly. 82% by using this project, we can reduce CO levels by up to 82%. If calculated in kilograms, then over 5 years until 20 and 30, we can reduce carbon dioxide emission level by 15 billion kilograms. Thus, in a year, we can reduce carbon dioxide emission by 2.5 billion kilograms. Next, please. Our conclusion is, with a focus on innovation, sustainability, and strong partnership with government, communities at the private sector, PBES can achieve the vision of becoming the leading provider of biogas energy in Nigeria and make a significant positive impact on society and the environment. Thanks. That's our presentation. We can move the question and answer section.
Thank you, Team Magma Troopers. And thank you for being patient in the beginning with the technical issue. You did a really good presentation. I see quite a lot of questions. I think that we can start with Celine.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Actually, I hope I didn't get you guys wrong. I think you mentioned that in the first few slides that you didn't recommend selling the gas cylinder because of the volume of it is bigger, right? So
Yep, that's true.
yeah, you said this is not the best way. So I wonder, do you have provided some alternative recommendations for the current family? Or did you do some research about what they are using now or how they can be improved? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for the question. So let me clarify. So you are asking about the improvement in the biogas and the conversion process into to the consumer, right? Consumer, right? Which one can be improved?
Yeah, here you said the it is not the best way, right? To store biogas in the gas cylinder is not the best way. So I'm asking, does that mean selling this gas cylinder to the common family is not recommended?
Yeah, that's really true.
Yeah. My question then is, have you done some research about what they are using in the common family and how you are going to help them to improve their current situation? Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's very clear. So our plan is that we are not planning to sell biogas in a gas cylinder because according to our research, it's not inefficient because the energy density of a biogas is worse compared to the other alternative. For example, the LPG. So biogas needs to be compressible. That's the point of where it can be improved. But if we try to improve in a compressing biogas, there's another downside. Compressing biogas needs more insulation of the gas itself. Thus, it will create another problem, another cost, which it relates to how that gas cylinder will be designed. It needs to be tougher to handle higher pressure compared to the LPG. So there is an improvement in compressing biogas, but also there is a problem with the cost. So that's it.
Thank you.
I think that we can go to the next question. Maybe Thomas, you'd like to go first?
Yes, thanks for the presentation, guys. My question is, how would the proposed public-private partnership that finance 40% of the project work? And if you guys think that it could bring political, that it could bring political risks such as political pressure, instability from the government? Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. So first is why we choose public and private investment, because we need to have an access, or PBES needs to have an access to the electrical grid, because we are proposing a solution to connect to the grid, to the electricity, and then governing a contract with the government and creating a partnership between public and private, and PBS and the government is really important. And to mitigate the potential politics problem, we didn't expect too much problem in the politics sector, because this problem, this solution is really urgent and it's really important for the government in Nigeria, and also the Nigeria government is also seeking for actually seeking for a private party to make a contract in which they can solve a problem in the electricity in Nigeria. Yeah, maybe my friends want to add. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks.
And then Valentina, I don't know if you have a question anymore, or Thomas covered you.
I had two questions. Both of them are answered now. Thank you very much.
Perfect. And we also have a question from William.
Okay, thank you for a nice presentation. I just want to continue for the asking for your question. That you see the capital of composition here is 40% public and private investment, and there's a loan. My question is, how can you, as strategic, can ensure can make the APD Nigeria and African Development Bank trust your strategy? Because I see in here there's a public and private investment that I researched. If you have a public and private investment, it would be a little less harder to make a loans with the bank like EFD, Nigeria African Development Bank. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, William, for the question. So the reason why we are confident seeking loans from the private sector, from the banks, is that because we have predicted that our ROI is 28.6%, and that's it. That's the ROI. And to compare with the cost of borrowing, we have inflation rate here. So you know that interest rate in the country will not be far off from the inflation rate, right? And according to our research, the highest interest rate in Nigeria is 26%, well below that ROI that we have here. So by looking for the profitability, comparing the ROI and also the interest rate, the highest interest rate in Nigeria, we are really optimistic that we can seek loan from the bank. And why we still choose the public and private investment schema is that because we need that access towards the government facility, the government infrastructure, such as the power line and the power grid. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you for a comprehensive answer.
Great. Thank you, Team Magma Troopers. Congratulations for your presentation, and thank you to the jury for the questions. And I think that now it's time to move on to the last team.
Hello guys, so today we are going to talk about sustainable electrification plan.
Can you hear us, guys? Innovate Excel?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Great. So give me a second. I'm gonna start screen sharing your presentation. Just a sec. So you should be able to see the screen, right?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, so hello, we are Team Innovate Excel, number 24421. Today we are going to discuss the sustainable electrification plan. Next page, please. I'm sorry, next slide. Okay, so here's our table of contents. First, we will focus on the environmental circumstances, opportunities, and risks of Nigeria. Next, cost and capital compositions, including cost and break-even points. Last but not least, we will present the benefits of compressed biogas and its potential. So before we head into the analysis of the environment, we first talk about our company's goal. Our goal is to invest in the industry of compressed biogas in the target market of Nigeria by ensuring flexibility and effectiveness, making optimal outputs.
Okay, so first we have conducted an environmental analysis. Next slide, please. We analyzed the environment from two aspects, which are focusing on primarily focusing on the target of Nigeria and the entire sub-Saharan Africa region. For the climate, it varies across Nigeria, with the south being tropical, while the central area has a tropical savanna climate and the north is semi-arid, which means dry but having slightly more rain than arid. The varying climate across the country can create both benefits and challenges to the project, so it would not be viewed as an opportunity or risk factor before conducting further research and gaining more data. For the sub-Saharan region, with its environments ranging from arid deserts and tropical rainforests, the diverse climate also resulted in a similar impact as in Nigeria. Moving on to biomass availability, both Nigeria and the entire sub-Saharan region have abundant biomass in general, which creates an opportunity as it provides feedstock for the electrification project's digesters. Next, with the water resources being scarce in both Nigeria alone and the sub-Saharan area, it results in risk as the water scarcity can hinder digester operation and effluent management. Furthermore, an analysis based on land availability, Nigeria's lack of land resources can cause high digester installation costs. On the other hand, sub-Saharan Africa as a whole has abundant available land, which reduces the installation costs. Next slide, please. Moreover, since the optimum temperature for biogas production is between 31 and 34 degrees Celsius, the average temperature in both areas reduces biogas production efficiency. Also, the optimum humidity for biogas production is between 50% and 70%. Nigeria's high humidity poses a risk of biogas condensation and unstable filters, while the sub-Saharan area's humidity varies across different regions, leading to an unknown impact for biogas production. Next slide, please. Okay, so other opportunities include the large target market, biofertilizer production, and possible carbon offset markets, and also utilizing existing grids. Next slide, please. And other there are also other risk factors to consider, which involve high upfront costs, grid connectivity, competition, and also limited data for the targeting. Next slide, please.
And now let's talk about cost and capital compositions. Next slide, please. First, on the back end, there are both design and construction costs consisting of 6 main critical infrastructures: anaerobic digesters, gas storage facilities, distribution networks, electric generators to convert mechanical energy into electrical energy, grid connection, and gas cylinders. Each of these taken together will cost around $240,000. Next slide, please. Then we have the annualized operating costs. Chief among these costs are budgeting for such things as routine maintenance, the fuel and lubricants for operating the electric generators, as well as protective gears to ensure safety from potential biogas hazards. Next slide, please. While still considering an operating cost, our team has determined that logistics are on a separate category due to the current instability in supply chains worldwide. Therefore, we've included transportation, storage space, rental fees, and the labor costs associated with the collaboration for efficiency in the logistics chain. Next slide, please. The final category is inter and infrastructure security costs. At the outset, the initial cost will naturally be higher and then decrease as time goes on. We have earmarked $35,000 as our starting budget. Breaking it down, the initial investment includes $5,000. This line item is associated with the physical fixed one-time cost of security items such as locks and cameras. And however, the larger portion of the budget is for hiring security personnel. We have included $30,000 per year with the understanding that there will be some variation depending on the hire and accounting for inflation. Next slide, please. Now, summing up all the costs from the previous slides, the budget for this project is roughly $400,000 with a 1 or 2% margin of error. Ideally, 40% of Pomozi's budget should come from equity capital, meaning its shareholders. 30% of it should be from debt capital, which are long-term liabilities in this case, instead of current liabilities, since in our proposal, those debts wouldn't have to be paid in 1 year. And another 30% is working capital, which is equal to current assets as they carry forward no liabilities. So how should Pomozi invest using its funds beside purchasing capital? We recommend that PBS focus on investing in technology innovation, market expansion, and financial sustainability initiatives to scale up its biogas electrification efforts effectively. Next slide, please. Finally, in order to help Pomozi achieve its goals, we recommend 4 paths with consideration of the startup nature of the company. Term loans and small business association loans are the top choices. However, the latter type of loans involves more regulatory red tape. Other more traditional means of infusing capital includes borrowing in the form of lines of credit and business credit cards. Next slide, please. Next, let's dive into the 5 steps to help PBS reach a break-even point. This is, of course, a first milestone and also the point where total cost equals total revenue. Next slide, please. First, we must identify the company's revenue stream from the sale of biogas cylinders. Then we take this gross revenue and subtract it from the capital expenditures. Lastly, we must determine what is called the contribution margin. That is the whole dollar amount of actual revenue generated from these biogas cylinders by subtracting the variable cost. Next slide, please. Once we have the above calculation, we can calculate the break-even quantity of the biogas cylinders that the company needs to sell to pay its bills. And lastly, these two numbers, namely the dollars and quantity, will give us the break-even point. However, as any sharp economist from Keynes to Smith to Friedman would say, the break-even scenario is suboptimal, and therefore any business entity should strive to exceed its BEP number. Next slide, please.
So that's after focusing on two topics, we will then enter the benefits and potential of compressed biogas. Next slide, please. So let's talk about what is biogas first. Biogas is a mixture of gases, such as carbon dioxide, produced by the breakdown of organic matter in the absence of oxygen. Next, compressed biogas is just a compressed version of biogas, which becomes like CNG. So people might wonder what CNG is. Then I have CBG, which is compressed biogas. CNG is compressed natural gas, specifically and primarily used as fuel for cars. Next slide, please. So CBG, which is compressed biogas, is now in the process of developing and investing as different companies start investing in related areas and by seeing its potential in the circumstances of purchasing eco-friendly power generation methods. For example, the biogas market, including compressed biogas, is expected to grow significantly with a projected market size of over USD 37 billion by 2036. Next slide, please. So considering the benefits, we can also talk about why this is important to invest in this kind of industries. So there are also different kinds of benefits for compressed biogas. As we have mentioned before, it's a more eco-friendly method which leads to a reduction of greenhouse gas emission. With a special operation mode, it also achieves waste management. On the other hand, the societal benefits. It creates a new industry, gives more job opportunities in rural areas, which improves the economic level. Moreover, it efficiently generates power to have less energy poverty problems. Let's see, promoting this kind of plan can help higher education and awareness on topics including global warming and renewable energies.
To conclude, besides purchasing capital, we recommend that PBES should focus on investing in technology innovation, market expansion, and financial sustainability initiatives to scale up its biogas electrification efforts and reach its target of providing clean and affordable energy access to Nigerians by 2030. Also, PBES should understand the benefits provided by compressed biogas. Next slide, please.
These are our references. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm not going to stop screen sharing just in case the judges have a question related to one of your slides. But you did a really good job. Congrats for making it this far. And I think that we can start with Valentina.
What I want to do is to congratulate you because I really liked your presentation and I am fully fond of the analysis of the external environment that you performed. From my point of view, it is a very good one and we can understand better actually the situation, the big situation. Okay. But my question is related somehow to the approximation that you made related to the annual costs and anything else related to the financial aspect, okay? Could you tell me, please, how did you perform actually the computations? How did you approximate the costs? You have another slide.
So for example, I searched
even this one. Okay, how did you approximate everything?
So this model is based on the recommendations of like other entities, how they direct their funds, like get their money from. And for example, for the other cost estimations, such as biogas cylinders, where I get the total cost of that. For example, one biogas is around 40 to 50 US dollars. So therefore, as considering the scale of the PBES and the number of Nigerians they aim to electrify, I timed the like $45 to the amount of people they are able to electrify. So that's how I get some of the costs. And for example, for the security costs, I estimate the cost per security personnel based on the average salary of security personnel and lower it a little bit since the currency is in Nigeria is a bit different than the international. So
How many people, for example, you considered for the security?
So for security personnel,
Yeah.
one security personnel will cost around $30,000 per year. But for Pomozi, since it's still in its startup phase, so I would say 1 to 2 security personnel is how many they should hire.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And Ksenia?
Hello, thank you for your presentation. I would like to notice your analysis. You highlighted some really obvious points, but I missed, but you haven't defined the problems of your assignment. What are the key problems? What are you trying to solve?
Count, can you answer this question?
Yeah, so basically we are trying to focus on how to achieve implementing compressed biogas electrification into Nigeria and basically investing in the industry.
Okay, but it says what are you going to do? But what for? You want to implement, so what? What potential outcomes? What you want to have as a result? For what are you doing it?
For like basically hire the potential of different industry and in Nigeria and helping them to improve their living conditions. I hope that answered your question.
So basically, its target is to provide affordable energy access to Nigerians by 2030.
Great. And we have time for one more question from Vincent.
Hi, hello. Thanks for your presentation, and your PowerPoint is really nice. I think it's the simplest among all the groups, but I'd like to know that you mentioned a lot about the cost, about how to get the capital, but did you try to estimate the possible revenue from the project?
For the possible revenue, it's kind of in the working capital, which is the current assets, the revenue they made by selling biogas cylinders. So yeah, the working capital is our estimated revenue of the project.
I mean, how about the income, the possible income from selling the gas?
Do you mean the precise numbers?
Estimate, just an estimation, because you
Yeah,
mentioned a lot about the cost, but I think it's also important to know the possible revenue, so that we know whether we are making a profit or a loss.
So it's shown on this page, including the working capital, which is the revenue they made from selling biogas cylinders.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you to all the jury and obviously Team Innovate Excel. I think that we have pretty much wrapped up all the business case presentations. Congratulations for making it this far to all 5 teams, but also the ones that peer graded, the ones that submitted their business cases. You really did an exceptional job, and you should say thank you and congratulations to yourself for that. Now we have some time until we have the results. I think that the jury have a difficult task to complete. I'm going to give them some more time to review the grades once again and come up with a final decision. In the meantime, until the jury deliberates, we also have, once again, the audience award. I hope that you can see the QR code on your screens. The teams that are here right now watching us or on YouTube, you can scan the QR code and send the link to your friends, family to vote for you. And yeah, I'm going to give you a few more minutes to scan it before I stop sharing this presentation in 3, 2, 1. Great. You are able to vote also by the live stream on YouTube if you've missed the QR code. And now I think it's a good time to see the business case recap that I mentioned in the beginning. We saw the first part, but why not seeing the rest of the teams too? Give me a second for that.
Benefits brought to the environment.
Now for the benefits to our client.
So for our funding scheme, we have five funding schemes. So
we would now like to tell you something about the table that I was talking about.
In 2024, we asked for permits from local government.
In 2025, we'll focus on promoting our biogas solutions.
The total cost will circle around $12.8 million.
For the risk mitigation, we consider it into 3 types of risk.
And that is the first thing, cost beyond the expectation.
The project is economically viable.
Think that funding the project will be the right choice.
We have decided to withdraw funding for.
So technically, this project is non-profitable.
Our work is crucial for achieving a brighter future.
We can no longer pay for darkness.
Let's work together to achieve the complete electrification of Africa
and electrify Nigeria and revive life.
As mentioned before, here are some examples of advertisements we would put out on social media.
MOT Bioenergy Solutions.
So where will our extraordinary project be based?
My friend, I'm really glad you asked that.
Technology as a sector in Nigeria continues to play a pivotal role in the nation's recovery.
Require a significant amount of startup money.
Palmoza Bioenergy Solutions, PBES, aims to provide affordable and clean energy.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for attention.
Hope you liked our presentation.
We are looking forward to better success in Nigeria and IEO in the future.
And now is the end of.
Have a good day.
Nice wishes, nice presentations. I think that it's nice to always have a look at what the teams created, the ones that didn't make it to the finals. And before we announce the audience award, let's see once again what the teams that made it to the finals have submitted. Give me a second.
Hello everyone, greetings from Indonesia. We are from Serendip team with the team code 24102 and we are here to present about PBS, building a sustainable future with biogas powered electricity. The energy challenges that we face here, such as difficulty access to electricity, and there are still plenty of people who rely on firewoods in their daily household needs.
Okay, next, let's move on to the annual operating cost of the company. In this project, variable costs are divided into two categories, those for the biogas plant and register package installation. Allocation of capital from two key sources. The majority, totaling 70%, would be obtained through debt, a choice driven by the lower associated costs compared to equity.
So now I'm going to tell you about the break-even point, NPV and IRR of our plan scheme to break even in 7.76 years.
Explain about the impact of the project. How does this project impact the environment, client, and people in Nigeria?
Analysis of the promoted solution and the bioplant production. As you can see, we have strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats. High initial cost of $7 million, but on the other hand, our operating costs are very small and So here we have for the scheme structure that we advise for Pamopti. There are a lot of benefits from that, but it is in around 800,000 cylinders. And we can highlight the reduction of more than 130,000 tons of CO2.
Hi Pamodzi, we're Stonks, and today we're here to help you to reevaluate your business decision on the biogas industry. Our strategy is a multitude of balancing risk and rewards. We shaped our strategy according to your company's agenda and goals while assessing for sustainable profits.
Here's our breakdown on cost per unit. Our selling price is on 0.4 per kg. In comparison, the price of cooking fuel in the market now is at 0.54.
For implementation is funding model for research and development. A few areas we are getting our funding from is educational institutions, crowdfunding, and international organizations. The benefits of compressed biogas are as listed. So there's cheap and abundant PF biomass material, new market opportunities as a biogas is a new market, safe and clean.
Okay everyone, welcome to our group presentation. We are Team Magma Troopers from Indonesia, and today we are going to present our comprehensive analysis. This condition resulted in $12 billion of annual spending in power generation, which constantly polluting 3 trillion kilograms of carbon dioxide annually.
If we examine the PBS proposal, it turns out that biogas distribution will use gas cylinders. However, we believe this solution may not be the best way, because cooking twice a day with biogas will require 1,500 liters per day in a family of 5, and thus requiring a large gas cylinder.
Based on the previous market sizing and the importance of this project, our recommendation is to fund the project.
And the capital compensation recommendation, 50% for our initial investment will come from loans that come from AFD Nigeria and African Development Banks.
By data, there is significant difference between the emission of fossil fuel and biogas.
Hello guys, so today we are going to talk about sustainable electrification plan.
And environment analysis. We analyze the environment from two aspects, which are focusing on the primary target of Nigeria and the entire sub-Saharan African region.
In construction costs, there are 6 main infrastructures that are critical for this project. Operating cost. First, routine maintenance will be needed. So considering PBE's scale and it's a new startup company, there are 4 types of loan that you should consider applying. Five steps to define PBE's break-even point. First, you have to identify its revenue streams and then calculate its total cost.
Ultimately, there are different kinds of benefits that compressed biogas holds. So first, they are eco-friendly.
Great. So we also saw a recap of the presentations that we've had in the business case finals this time. I think that the results are almost ready, but before we announce them, we're going to start with the audience award that you guys have voted for on the YouTube live stream, and then we're going to move on to third, second, and first place. But before I do so, I'd like to invite Ksenia and William that have been part of this before, and now they got to sit on the opposite side of the table and be part of the jury. How does that feel, Ksenia?
Hello, everyone. You all done a great job. I believe that this case was indeed hard and much harder than last year's case. I would like to give advice to the teams, and especially if you're going to participate in similar competitions in the future. If you receive a business case, it doesn't have to be profitable, because there are social initiatives and social business as well, and it doesn't have to be profitable. I mean, public transportation isn't also profitable, but it's still a great business solution.
Thanks for sharing your advice. What about you, William? Do you have any tips for the people sitting on the other side of the screen?
Okay. Overall, I'm really happy to see you here. This case, I think really is a technical case. Yeah, you have should have a global, some kind of the technical issues, technical things that you have to know about the renewable energy SDGs, which is a little bit aside of the economics, but I think you should know about it because it's very important for our world, our society right now today, right? And I think for advice, if you join the business case or similar competition like this, you need to understand correctly, and you have to know about what solution what you give. And also, you should and you have to defend your argument. If there is some jury asking your question like that, I think it's a really point in here. And I really feel for the the opposite, like the participant have more outrageous, more spirit to like doing this competition like this, because trust me, this competition is a very important and give a valuable, a positive externality in your future. That's for my advice. Thank you.
Thank you, William. And I would also like to thank the rest of the jury for making it here today, taking time out of their day and contributing, asking those wonderful questions to the participants. I think it's very important. So thank you very much, Tomas, Valentina, Alan, Christos, Springcheng, Alexander, Vincent, Celine, and John. We really appreciated you taking the time out of your day. I don't know if any of you would like to say something. This is an open invitation if you want to unmute yourselves.
Yeah, Valencia, please.
Sorry, thank you. I do like the topic that we had this year. I think it's quite complex and very important for the environment and for the whole society, for the whole world. Therefore, I send all my appreciations not only for the participants but for the committee that actually conceived all this contest. So big congrats for you guys.
I also wanted to say that it has been an amazing experience, guys. I have not seen this kind of diverse solutions, different approaches from all the sides of analyzing different aspects of those business cases. And it has been a pleasure to listen to you. So actually, my thought was, well, okay, if we were to combine all of those solutions, it would have been like something perfect, something so perfect that I couldn't even imagine it could be done. So hopefully the organization that made this case will look through the top solutions we have, and maybe they will use some of those ideas, some of those calculations. So congratulations for you all, and this was amazing experience. Thank you.
Thank you both. And Alan, you're raising your hand. Thank you for.
Yes, thank you. Again, I really like the topic, and thank you for the organizers, all the participants. I think the topic is more than about a business. It's more about sustainability. It's more about helping people, making our world better. So honestly, it's a very complicated project, and I don't think myself can do it. So my salute to all the participants, and yeah, I hope to see you all, one day in Hong Kong, and yeah, welcome.
Thank you, Alan. And Spring Cheng.
So first off, thank you so much for inviting me. And I think I really appreciate for the student they spend more of the time doing the research. As you know, they are the secondary student, but their levels are really like as a university student to do like this research, this PowerPoint, the explanation, the analyze. Really just like the university student. I can imagine they are secondary student. Perfect, excellent. Thank you so much. They all done excellent.
And Vincent?
I just want to say thank you to everyone, especially the good work from all the participants. The PowerPoint is really wonderful, and I'm sure all of you did a lot of research. Maybe even though you did not visit Nigeria before, but it's really good. Yeah, especially the analysts, the analyze, and also the solution that you made. Yeah, thank you very much, and I hope it will benefit many people in the Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And John.
Yeah, once again, congratulations to all the teams. They presented wonderful things. Their ideas are very, very important, especially for this important theme. This issue has a lot of social impact, and we need ideas like this in the future as a society. So congratulations to everyone. I know that they are eager to know the results, so I'm not talking anymore. Thank you very much.
And maybe one more from Celine. Thank you, John.
Thank you. It's honor to be here today, and also actually learn a lot from the participants. And actually, each team exhibits different styles. Some of them are very good at analysis. Some of them are very good at the team cooperation, and some of them are very good at presentation, and even for the PowerPoint design. I think they can all learn from each other and try to improve them better in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Celine and Christos.
Thank you everyone for being here and for presenting such amazing works. I would like to remind everyone that we are doing this competition, and today is the day of the finalists. Of course, we appreciate their work, but I've done some research watching some of the videos of the other teams that are not here with us today, the 6th, the 7th, the 30th, etc. And I see that they could be here and they could stand in a really high level too. So I think that what we should remember for those competitions, except for the great job that the finalists do and the great presentations we've seen today, is that we motivate people, we motivate hundreds of students to work on something, work together, maybe with people who they don't know in advance, on projects that in general have a lot of information that they didn't know before. And that's something that we shouldn't forget. I think that it should be heard. And it is the reason why we had today so many active participants through the YouTube link. All those people, all this audience that created the winner of the audience award that Eleni is going to present soon. They came here to see how others did the project that they tried to resolve. So thank you to all of you, not only the participants who are here with us today, but all of you that tried, the hundreds of students that did that. Thank you.
Thanks, Christos, for voicing that thought. I think it's really important to be mentioned. But yeah, without further ado, I think it's time to announce the audience award. So are you guys ready for it? So congrats, Team Stonks. You got the audience award. We had so many people voting at the YouTube live stream, and apparently you are the crowd's favorite. Do we have Stonks with us? I think we do. Yeah, I see you guys. One of you can, congratulations, first of all. And one of you can maybe unmute yourselves. How are you feeling about that?
Thank you so much for the award. We're really, really honored to be able to even participate in the grand finals. And we felt that throughout this entire competition, we really learned a lot about the biogas industry. And we felt that it was a very valuable experience.
I really hope you found it interesting and you learned something through it. That's the whole purpose. So I'm really excited to see what you do next. Congratulations once again. And now I would like to invite Valentina to tell us who the bronze winner is.
So, just in order to announce them, the winners of the third place, of course, I am going to say that that team actually showed a good understanding of the proposed topic. First of all, the presentation was clear, neat, and interesting. Thirdly, they proved quite a good creativity concerning their approach. And fourth, on the fourth place, I really enjoyed the cohesion of the team. I do not know about you, but this is what I like it the most, okay? So I am pleased to announce that the winner of the third place is the team coming from Brazil, Vlatas Caramelo.
Congrats to the two sisters. I see them on the screen. Hi, girls. Yeah, you can unmute yourselves.
First
Yes,
of
we
all,
can hear you.
thank you very much. We are really happy. It was our first business case, and it was really confusing, but it just was such a wonderful opportunity. And the first day that the WinterChallenge the application started, I applied and subscribed because I really want to participate, but I never imagined I'll be here and taking first place. So thank you very much.
I really like the excitement. Congratulations, girls. So, can I invite Alexander for the silver place, the silver medal?
Yeah, so the silver medal, this presentation had a very clean structure, and I believe that most of the jury loved the way it was put. The approach the guys used was simple, yet they did have some innovation in what they presented. So the second place. Congratulations, guys.
Congrats, guys. Do we have you on Zoom?
Yeah, so first of all, I appreciate the jurors to announce their words, and we have been prepared for this for a long time and having different kinds of analysis. And I really appreciate you guys' efforts and also my teammates.
Also, we didn't know each other before this competition, and I'm really grateful of this opportunity that the IEO group us together and we get to know each other and work on this business case.
It's a big accomplishment. Yeah, for Yunchan.
I wanted to express my appreciation for the jury team and my teammates, because it was a really great opportunity to not also present but also learn about the industry itself and the business. So I really appreciate it.
You all did a really good job in collaborating and getting to know each other. Other than the research part and obviously winning the second place in the business case finals, I can really see that you also enjoyed working with one another and getting to know each other. So that's always a really positive impact those competitions can have. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Are we ready for the gold announcement, Christos?
Of course we are. Should I present them?
Yes, you can.
I think most of the jury members already expect the team that is going to be the gold medalist, and that's because when they have been presenting, we all agreed that they had the most realistic plan, and they also found out all the boundaries, all the problems that may arise in this project, applying such project. I think that they deserve what they get. I'm really glad that they were here and presented this great work, and I hope they keep going because they are too young and they can achieve so many things. So, in the gold place, we have
Congratulations, Tonks. Second award, audience award, and first place. How are you feeling? I always love watching the reactions on Zoom. I'm glad you guys have your cameras open and I love your background. Yes, you can unmute yourselves. Yeah, great.
Oh, sorry, we're just very in shock right now. But yeah, I think Icing can give her speech.
Yeah, we're just really happy that we managed to get this award. Like it's such a pleasant to actually being able to participate in these competitions. We certainly do learn a lot like throughout the competition. And we are so grateful for the judges and the juries for this honor. And actually, like I can't really think of what to say right now because I'm really excited. I think Cheryl can take it over.
So we're really grateful to have this opportunity to participate in this competition, and we really learned a lot, not just from our learning process, but also from other teams. And we're just really thankful to the IEO and WinterChallenge committee for hosting this event, and we're really looking forward to participating in this again. Thank you so much.
Glad to hear that. Congratulations, guys. You did a really good job, and I think that everyone can tell. I also want to congratulate the other two teams and also the other teams that could not make it in the business case finals. But still, as Christo said, they did a really good job, and we saw parts of it in the videos that we had before. And since the business case finals are done, this doesn't mean that the WinterChallenge is done yet, because we have the closing ceremony happening tomorrow at 12 p.m. UTC. You guys should have the link for the Zoom in your Google Calendar that we've shared with you. It's also going to be shared in the group chats again. At the closing ceremony, we will also announce the top winner of the economics quiz, the FLG. And yeah, it's overall a very exciting ceremony. We're gonna wrap up the competition and also have a few more surprises for you. But it was really nice seeing you all. Once again, congratulations, and I really hope I see you tomorrow.
I wish you could take the photos again before I think it's important to take a photo. Yeah,